Most IT companies don't have a growth problem. They have a pricing problem. Scaling to $10 million doesn't start with more leads. It starts with looking at your invoice and being embarrassed by how cheap you've been selling something this valuable. Fix the offer, fix the pricing. Everything after that gets easier. Recurring revenue is the only revenue that actually counts. One-time projects feel good in the moment and destroy you long-term. You close a $20,000 project, celebrate for a week, then you're back to zero, hunting for the next deal like a hunter-gatherer with a mortgage. That's not a business. That's a job with extra steps. The companies that break past $10 million stop chasing projects and start building retainers. Managed services, monthly security contracts, ongoing support packages, boring, predictable, unsexy, and worth more than any flashy contract you'll ever close. Why? Because recurring revenue compounds. It stacks. Month 1, you have $10,000 in retainers. Month 12, you might have $200,000 sitting in your account before you've made a single sales call that month. That's the difference between a business that owns you and a business you own. The founders still chasing one-off projects at year 5 are the same founders complaining about cash flow at year 5. Meanwhile, the ones who forced every single client onto a retainer, even at a discount just to lock them in, are the ones who sleep at night. Recurring revenue isn't a nice to have. It's the entire game. You don't need more clients. You need better clients. This one stings, but someone has to say it. Half your stress isn't coming from lack of revenue. It's coming from the wrong clients eating your team alive. The client who negotiates you down, emails at 11 p.m., and still complains. That client is not paying you enough to justify the damage they're doing to your team's morale. Scaling to $10 million isn't about volume. It's about filtering. The companies that make it stop accepting every deal that walks through the door and start asking one brutal question before every proposal. Will this client make us money or slowly kill us? A $5,000 per month client who respects boundaries is worth more than a $15,000 per month client who burns out 3 of your best engineers. Burnout has a cost. Turnover has a cost. A toxic client relationship costs you talent, and talent is the one thing you cannot 10 times a company without. The fastest way to scale isn't saying yes to everything. It's building the courage to say no to the wrong 40% so the right 60% can actually grow. Your team is the product, not your tech. Stack founders obsess over tools, software, dashboards. None of that scales a company. People scale a company. An IT services business is not selling code. It's selling trust delivered by humans at scale. The businesses that break $10 million invest obsessively in hiring and retaining senior talent, because one brilliant engineer can save you from a $200,000 client loss disaster, and one mediocre hire in the wrong seat can quietly bleed you out over 18 months without you noticing until it's too late. Most founders spend more time picking a CRM than they do interviewing their next hire. That's backwards. Build systems so good that decent people can perform like elite people. Build documentation so thorough that losing one employee doesn't cripple a client relationship. Build a culture where your best engineers actually want to stay instead of getting poached by the next offer that lands in their inbox. Scaling isn't about doing more. It's about needing yourself less. The day your business can run a Tuesday without you answering a single Slack message, that's the day you actually have a company instead of a very expensive job. Referrals are not a growth strategy. They're an accident you're relying on. "We grow through word of mouth" is the most dangerous sentence a founder can say because it sounds like a strategy and it's actually a hope. Hope is not a growth engine. The IT companies stuck at $2 million for 6 straight years all say the same thing. Our clients just refer us. Great. And what happens the quarter they don't? You cannot forecast an accident. You cannot scale a hope. Real growth requires an actual engine. Outbound, content, partnerships, case studies, a sales process that runs whether you're in the room or not. Referrals should be the dessert, not the meal. The founders who hit $10 million built a predictable pipeline first, then let referrals stack on top as a bonus. The ones stuck below $1 million are the ones who built their entire company on the goodwill of past clients, remembering their name at the right dinner party. That's not a business model. That's gambling with better manners. If you can't explain exactly how you'll get your next 10 clients without relying on luck, you don't have a growth strategy. You have a prayer. Speed of delivery is your real competitive advantage, not price. Every founder thinks they're competing on price. They're not. In IT services, the company that responds in 20 minutes beats the company that's 15% cheaper every single time. Clients aren't buying tech. They're buying peace of mind, and peace of mind has a clock attached to it. A server goes down at 2 a.m., and the company that picks up the phone becomes the company that keeps the contract for the next 5 years. Price never even enters the conversation again. Slow response times are silently killing more IT companies than bad pricing ever could. Founders obsess over undercutting competitors on cost, while their actual competitors are simply faster to respond, faster to fix, faster to follow up. Speed compounds trust. Trust compounds retention. Retention is what actually gets you to $10 million, not the next flashy sales pitch, not the cheapest quote in the inbox. If you want to outscale every competitor in your market without dropping your price a single dollar, become the fastest company in the room. That alone will out-earn a decade of discounting. What if I told you that the reason your IT company is stuck under $1 million has nothing to do with your competitors, your pricing, or even the economy, and everything to do with 6 decisions you're making every single day without realizing it? Most people running an IT services business think they have a marketing problem. They don't. They have a business model problem dressed up as a marketing problem. You're selling hours to people who need outcomes. You're chasing one-time projects instead of building recurring revenue that compounds while you sleep. You're saying yes to every client who has a credit card instead of saying no to the clients who are quietly draining your best engineers and your entire will to keep going. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Scaling to $10 million isn't about doing more of what you're already doing. It's about having the courage to stop doing half of it. Stop underpricing your work like it's a favor instead of a solution. Stop treating recurring contracts as a bonus instead of the entire foundation. Stop hoping referrals will save you, because hope was never a growth strategy. It's a gamble wearing a suit. The companies that break through don't have better technology than you. They have better systems around people. They understand that the engineer who stays 5 years is worth more than 3 engineers who leave in 6 months. They understand that speed, answering the phone at 2 a.m., fixing the problem before the client panics, builds more loyalty than any discount ever could. You don't need more leads. You need a filter. You don't need more hours in the day. You need fewer clients who are wrong for you, so the right ones can actually grow with you. Every dollar you make from this point forward should either be recurring, or it should be building the case study that gets you the next recurring client. This is not complicated. It's uncomfortable. There's a difference. Complicated things need more information. Uncomfortable things need more courage. The courage to raise your prices, the courage to fire the client who's been slowly killing your team's morale for a year, the courage to build a business that doesn't need you answering every message at midnight to survive. The $10 million version of your company already exists. It's just been buried under every excuse you've been telling yourself about why now isn't the right time. Everything that's kept you under $1 million is a decision, not a limitation. The market didn't cap you. Your pricing did. Your client list did. Your reliance on luck and word of mouth did. None of that is permanent. All of it can change starting with the very next client you sign or the very next client you fire. $10 million isn't a number that happens to you. It's a number you build, one uncomfortable decision at a time. The only question left is whether you're willing to make those decisions today, or whether you'll still be making excuses about them a year from now. What if everything you've been told about scaling an IT company is the exact reason you're still stuck? You think you need more clients. You don't. You need to fire half of them. You think you need to lower your prices to compete. You don't. The company that responds in 20 minutes beats the one that's 15% cheaper every single time. You think referrals are your growth strategy. They're not. They're an accident wearing a business plan's clothes. Here's what nobody tells founders stuck under $1 million. Your problem was never traffic. It was never talent. It was never the economy. It was that you built a business selling hours to people who were only ever paying for outcomes. The companies that hit $10 million didn't work harder than you. They got uncomfortable faster than you. They raised prices while everyone else discounted. They said no to cash while everyone else said yes to chaos. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down the 6 exact decisions separating the IT companies stuck at $500,000 from the ones crossing $10 million. And none of them require more hours, more ads, or more luck. Stay till the end. The 6th one is the reason most of you are still doing this the hard way.